Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you another time video today. This is a pretty cool one today. Sticking with my soft tackle theme here that I'm running with lately. And this is a soft tackle caddis. Meant to be swung. We're not going to put any weight on it. You know, we don't want it to get down. This is an emerger. We're fishing this as an emerger. And it's a really cool looking pattern that I liked a lot. And I'm going to be fishing it this year. You know, I'm always searching for new patterns, trying to find something new to tie, to share with you guys, and something that I want to fish. And this is one that I'm going to fish this year. So, have fun. I'm not going to talk a long time here to start. Easy to tie, and looks great too. So, have fun tying it. Here you see it in the vise, and then the material is to tie it. Alright, here we have the soft tackle caddis in the vise. Very cool looking fly. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, I'm using a Firehole 315. This is a size 12. Alright, this is a wet fly, so there's not going to be any weight on it. For thread, I'm using 140 Denier light olive. And we're just going to start that on there and wrap it back around the bend of the hook. Next thing I'm using is a piece of stretch tube. This is medium size. You could use small here if you want. It wouldn't be a problem. And I want to go about 3 hook lengths back. What I actually want is a third of the final body distance back from the hook eye here. So I'm just going to wrap this on, and I'm going to pull it tight as I wrap it back, and that's going to thin it out and make the body a little bit thinner. I'm going to wrap back around the bend of the hook. So there's going to be a lot of shape to this one. It's not going to be a standard straight off the straight line fly, which a lot of wet flies are. Going to cover that up with thread, and like I said here, I have 2/3 of the length for the abdomen, and then about 1/3 for the thorax. So I'm just going to take this stretch tubing, and I'm going to start wrapping it forward and do nice side-by-side touching wraps. Don't overlay it. And we're just going to wrap that up there to where I stopped that thread at. Alright, once we get up here then, we're going to tie it off. And once we get it tied off, we're just going to trim that off and get it out of the way. Now, next thing I'm going to do is the wing case on this fly. For the wing case, I'm using a pheasant tail, just a standard colored pheasant tail, natural. And I'm going to cut off about 8 or so fibers on here. Now, the natural color is this light tan color. The bottom side of the feather is dark. I'm going to use the bottom side of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tips, and I'm just going to trim the tips off in a straight line. And since I want the bottom side to be up, I'm going to put it down to start with. So I'm tying with the dark side of the pheasant tail down against my fly. And then just lay that on there and tie it down. Next thing I'm using is some dark olive dubbing. This is SLF Squirrel blend. And we're just going to dub this on here. Don't go too heavy with it. I want to build a nice taper with it, but I still don't want it to be too big. Okay, so I'm going to get right up there, even go over that pheasant tail once or so. And then, like I said, build a nice taper. Okay, now I'm going to take a grouse feather. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the fluff off the back of it here. I'm going to pinch the tips, and then I'm going to stroke all the fibers back, just so I have the tip forward like that, and I can tie that down by. I'm going to lay it on top of this fly with the bottom side of the feather facing down on top of the fly. I'm just going to wrap that into place. And then I'm going to cut my tips off here. Now, grouse is a little bit of it's a soft feather, so you have to be a little careful with it. So we're not going to pull real hard, and we're just going to start wrapping this forward. As I wrap, I'm going to stroke these fibers back to make sure they lay the way I want them to. And you're only going to get about 2 wraps on here. And then we're going to tie it off. Alright, so once I get that tied off, I'm going to trim this shaft off here. Make sure all my feathers are going the way I want them. Get it wrapped down good. Now we're going to pull this wing case up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split those feathers on top and get that wing case to lay right down in between them, as you see there. Alright, we're just going to make sure we get everything where I want, hold it down tight, and wrap it down. Okay, now I want to make sure I don't crowd that eye, so I'm going to get a couple wraps on top there, and we're just going to whip finish this off. Okay, you're going to trim my thread off, and lastly cut this pheasant tail off the top. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit just a little bit of Solarez Bone Dry on my thread there to lock that into place. If you want, you can put some up on the wing case just to strengthen it a little bit. That won't hurt at all. We'll do that on this one and hit it with our light, and we're all done. There you go, soft Hackle Caddis. Alright guys, I hope you liked that pattern. Like I said, a couple easy steps. It's actually a very simple tie when you throw everything together. The hardest thing for a beginner is probably going to be the hackle on this. And with a little bit of practice, you'll get that down. Wet flies are great to learn how to do hackle because they're forgiving. You push them back and tie them down. Unlike a dry fly where it stands straight up. So as a beginner, this is a great kind of pattern to learn to tie that you're going to be effective with, and that's going to catch fish. Where, you know, dry flies sometimes are a little harder to get that hackle all going the way you want and stuff like that. So start with wet flies if you're looking for a great way to begin tying. Have fun as always, guys. Any of the materials you need to tie this fly or any other one, you can find at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. Thanks for watching and subscribing to my channel. If you haven't already, please do, and please give us a thumbs up. And I always try to respond to your comments too. If you leave a comment down below here, I'll try to get back to you shortly. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next week, I'm Sean Holsinger.